Here we go, Dr. Golden, just outside of Melbourne. So the question I have, Dr. Isaac, if I can interrupt you a minute. Number one, is there a published document in Australia that shows what pharmaceutical companies donated to all the members of the state parliaments like Victoria, New South Wales, etc., and federal parliament that meets in Canberra? Is there a document that I could write to and see who donated how much money and how they voted on these no jab, no play and these other laws that discriminate? It appears to me to be blatant discrimination against the poor and the middle class that can't afford to not vaccinate their children if they did their own research and said, I don't think I want to take that risk of vaccination. Is there such a document? And secondly, what other universities have done a study on this? I mean, well known in America.
So reporting in Australia is not as open as it is in America. I did notice something on the news item the other day talking about the amount of contributions that pharmaceutical companies have made to Australian political parties. And it was a substantial amount. It was made, as in America, to both sides, both of the major parties. Off the top of my head, I can't give you that reference, but there's something there. But it's not nearly as open as it is in America. And I know because, as I said, I've just recently looked at the American data regarding the huge amounts of money which are donated to specific members of the Senate and the House. In terms of universities, I mean, Harvard University in America, which is one of the most prestigious and well-respected universities in the world, have actually done probably the most thorough examination of the lack of ethics in pharmaceutical industries that I've ever seen. They took 5 years to do it. It was done within the Harvard University Law School by the Edmund Safra Ethics Lab, I think they call it, a rather unusual name, but you can actually Google this. All of this information is freely available on the internet. They published 16 articles in a law journal, and the articles were written by different members of the Ethics Lab who specialised in different aspects. So, for example, there were specialists in research, there were specialists in advertising, there were specialists in social media, all of these things, because they looked at all of these aspects where the pharmaceutical industry has an impact. So, from the education of medical students in universities, through to what medicines and drugs hospitals use, what medicines and drugs doctors use. Some of the psychologists who did a paper on how doctors managed free gifts. It was fascinating because what they found was most doctors say, well, we know that when the pharmaceutical reps come in and they offer us this and they offer us that, we know that that's an inducement and we won't be influenced by that. But yet when they studied their behaviour, the doctors still were influenced by it.